I heard this story one time about these two guys who were fishing. They were deep sea fishing. And they'd been best friends all their lives, and their names were David and Andrew. And they grew up together, went to school together, college together, families lived by each other. They had always been best friends. David was what you would call a religious person. God and Jesus meant a lot to him, and he always went to church. Andrew just didn't accept all the God stuff, didn't see a need for God in his life, and didn't like a lot of stuff about church, and never accepted any of that. But the cool thing was, these two guys, even though they believed very different things, they were always best friends. And like today, I mean, they were this day they were fishing, debating religion, politics, whatever else they could figure out to talk about. They were just they were into it. Unfortunately, though, they really weren't paying attention to the weather, and they looked up, and it was late afternoon, and there were some nasty looking clouds on the horizon, and Andrew looks over to David and says, we should probably go, shouldn't we? And David agrees, and so they set out, and they're trying to go around the storm, but after an hour they haven't done anything, and they're looking on their radar, and you know that on the news, when they do the weather, there's the light green, there's the dark green, and there's the orange, and then there's the red, and so they're looking on the radar. And there's a really big spot of dark red headed right for them. And neither of them are real hopeful at this point that they're going to get out of this situation. And Andrew's starting to freak out, and he's telling David, we may not get through this. And David's like, well, so it's not that big of a deal. And Andrew's like, but dude, we could die. And David's like, so what? And David pulls this thing out of his pocket, and he's like, dude, I've got this. This is my ticket into heaven. I don't have to worry whether or not I die tonight. And Andrew's like, whatever. It's a folded piece of paper. And David's like, no. This is my ticket into heaven. Andrew's kind of skeptical, obviously, but David holds to it. And says that, you know what, says Andrew, God bless you, man, and I hope I see you in the morning. I hope that we get through this storm, but if not, thanks for being my friend. And David's not worried, and so he just goes to sleep, starts sawing logs. And Andrew tries to go and sleep for a little bit, but he can't get this out of his mind because the storm's getting pretty choppy, and he knows that he may not get through this night, and he starts to think about over his life and all the debates that he and David have had, and he's thinking maybe there is something to this whole God, this whole heaven thing. So he decides that he's gonna hedge his bets just a bit and take just a little bit of David's ticket into heaven. He takes it and sticks it in his pocket. And he goes and tries to go to sleep then, because he's got his ticket, About an hour goes by, and he's still thinking, because by the way, David's sawing logs, man. I mean, he snores. It's crazy. Yeah. And Andrew can't sleep, and he's just thinking and thinking, and he admits that yes, there is the possibility that David is right, but he doesn't see any reason that God should be true. But on the other hand, he knows that it really means a lot to David. This religion thing, this Jesus really has meant a lot to David all of his life. And he knows that there is the possibility that that's true. And so he decides to take another part of David's ticket just in case it is. Because he figures, hey, I haven't been a Christian and stuff, but hey, I got more than half a ticket, and that should get me into heaven, because obviously you tear a dollar bill in half, and as long as you have more than a half, then you can still spend it. And that's what he figures with this. And so the storm gets worse, the waves come over the side, the boat capsizes, and unfortunately both of them become shark bait. And so now they're standing before the pearly gates in heaven, and they're walking up to St. Peter. And St. Peter says, "Gentlemen, how are you doing?" And they're smiling and stuff. And St. Peter says, "Tickets, please." And David's like, "Yeah, don't worry, Peter, got my ticket." And he pulls his ticket out of his pocket, and he said, "Peter, I had a ticket a minute ago. I had a ticket, Peter. I mean, I really did." And Peter's like, "Well, let me see it." So he looks at it a second. He kind of, "Oh, dude, David, don't worry. This is a good ticket. This ticket will get you into heaven. Don't worry." And so Peter takes it and keeps it, and then it's Andrew's turn. And Andrew walks up and he says, "Andrew, man, how you doing? I got my ticket. This is 2/3 of a ticket. This is, by the way, more than David had, so this should get me into heaven, right? I know it's a little tattered, but still 2/3 of a ticket." And so Peter takes all these pieces from Andrew, and he takes them, and he kind of drops them on the floor and spreads them out. And he said, "Andrew, I know that you're a good guy. I know that you lived a good life. But I'm sorry, you were not a follower of Christ. And unfortunately, because of that, this ticket does not earn you heaven. Unfortunately, this ticket that you have has only earned you hell. I'm sorry, Andrew, but you can't come in."